I can't believe it, but Ramadan is over. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little lost. During Ramadan, everything felt structured. We all had a purpose. We figured out our routines and we slowly became disciplined. And then after Eid, everything just goes quiet. And you're left trying to figure out how to carry that version that you had of yourself in Ramadan forward. So, in today's video, I'm going to do a full April reset, setting my goals, planning my bullet journal, reflecting on my Ramadan, and figuring out how to stay consistent with my good habits after Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's time for us to make the intention to continue all of the good deeds that we started in Ramadan to continue afterwards. I feel like every Ramadan teaches you something different, and this one was very humbling for me. I went into Ramadan with all these expectations. I had routines planned, goals set, everything mapped out. I really wanted it to be perfect. But the reality is, it wasn't perfect. There were days where I felt unmotivated, days when I was tired, days where I didn't feel as connected as I wanted to. And I think that's something people don't talk about enough. Ramadan isn't always going to feel spiritual 24/7. Sometimes it's just about showing up, even when you don't feel anything. But I also had really beautiful moments where I felt calm, where I felt close to Allah, where I realized how much I actually needed to slow down. And I think that's what I want to take with me, not perfection, but consistency. Right now, I feel like I'm in that post-Ramadan slump. Like I want to stay on track, but it's so easy to fall back into old habits. Sleeping all the time, being on my phone too much, and not being as mindful as I was in Ramadan. And it's scary because you don't want to lose everything you built during Ramadan. But I'm also trying to remind myself that discipline doesn't just come from Ramadan. It's something that I have to build myself and carry on throughout the year. So this month is kind of my reset. I gave myself this 1 week of March to just catch up on all the sleep that I've missed this week. I've missed during Ramadan, and I've been trying to reset my entire routine and try and figure out how do I want to go about moving forward. So I'm going to start with my April bullet journal spread. I feel like bullet journaling just helps me get my thoughts out of my head and onto paper, and it just really helps to know what goals I want to accomplish this month, and I can build a routine that can help me work towards those specific goals. So the same thing that I done for Ramadan, I'm going to make sure that it's something simple, something attainable, but something that's intentional, not too overwhelming and not too strict, just something that keeps me grounded, because I've learned my lesson from Ramadan where I was just trying to do so much in so little time, and I just had all of these expectations on myself, and it just became exhausting. And I don't want that. I don't want to burn out and feel exhausted. I want this to be something that I can continually do, because I realize when I try to do too much, I just end up doing nothing. I get really overwhelmed, and then I just end up flopping, procrastinating. So this month is all about balance, because in Ramadan I really tried my best to focus on my Islam and trying to strengthen my deen, but I was putting off so many other tasks to try and make the most of that month. So this month I'm going to try and make a schedule that can fit in all of the things I was doing, but obviously things I'm going to be doing at a lower quantity, so it is something that I can do more consistently, and then I can fit in all of the other things that I also need to get done. So for April, I'm focusing on a few key things, especially consistency in my deen. Not in a perfect way, but in a sustainable way, even if it's just small things every day. Second is getting back into my proper routine, where I'm going to be trying to sleep earlier, waking up with the intention to get all the things that I had planned out for today and not just result to doom scrolling my life away. And also, I really need to start working out and eating properly and taking care of my body, because I feel like everything else falls into place when I feel good physically. So, like, this is where my sleep plays a huge role into it. Even though I was getting like enough sleep in Ramadan, it wasn't quality sleep because I was getting woken up, and that's not the time that my body was needing rest. So now I have to fix my entire sleep schedule and go back to sleeping like a normal person, because for the past few months I have been, a night owl because I've been staying up to study. So Ramadan staying up wasn't that hard for me, but now I need to start sleeping early again and sleeping like a normal person. And lastly, my content creation. Since this is something I'm really new at, it's something that I want to take seriously. I have to start posting consistently, being creative, and just enjoying the process. In Ramadan, I was posting quite a lot, so I already have my consistency set. But for Ramadan, there was so much content to post about, which is why it was so easy to do. And now I'm not going to be posting as much, but it's still a bit overwhelming to try and figure out what exactly to post, because you need to be doing it consistently as someone who's just starting out, or else you're just gonna be falling in line with the rest of the people that are starting content creation. I think the biggest lesson that I learned from Ramadan is that small habits matter more than big bursts of motivation. So instead of trying to do everything, I'm focusing on a few habits I can actually stick to. So I was trying to read like a juz a day of Quran, but that is going to be a bit much for me to do now. And I already do read Quran every day, but this one I want it to be a part of a khatam I'm doing outside of Ramadan. The other Quran reading that I do is just me reading these daily surahs and learning my hifz work. So now I want to read Quran just for the sake of completing khatams out of Ramadan. And I think I can stick to maybe a quarter juz because it's not too much and it's not too little, which means I can finish maybe two juz a week, which I think is perfectly fine. And I was praying all the time consistently, so that's not really an issue for me. But if you just started praying in Ramadan, you should make it a habit and continue to pray outside of Ramadan all of your salah on time. And in Ramadan, I increased all of my dhikr, salawat, and istighfar. And I think I'm going to stick with that number, because now when I do less, it actually feels like I have so much of time to be doing more, that why should I waste it doing other things when it can go to something like this. So I'm going to continue reading as much as I did in Ramadan, especially because now that I'm going to be more productive, so I'll have more time to also be reading more dhikr. And I don't want Ramadan to just be like a moment, something that I just done for that month. I want it to actually change me and make me a better person long term. And that's not going to happen overnight. You have to be willing to put the work in, which is something that I absolutely don't mind. And every month, is a fresh start. Every day is a fresh start. You don't have to wait for a new month, a new week, but it's something that a lot of people decide that, this is where I'm going to start. So it's going to be a fresh start for me, because I let myself just relax for this 1 week. So now it's time for me to lock in now. It's not going to be a perfect reset, but I'm going to try my best, and it's going to be something realistic. If you also feel a bit lost after Ramadan, it's not something that only you're dealing with. A lot of people deal with stuff like this. And at the end of the day, we all just trying our best, and that's enough because Allah sees our efforts, Allah knows what's in our hearts, and may Allah make all of the good deeds that we want to continue or try easy for us, and make haram not tempt us. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Assalamu alaikum.